Growing up in Singapore, I think my perception of the great outdoors was very different from people who grew up in other parts of the world. Singapore is a tiny city-state in Southeast Asia, and while we have many nature reserves and parks, my connection with nature is often limited to these carefully manicured green spaces. Fishing is and has always been a way for me to kind of get away from the city, but even then you can never really escape the hum of an expressway or the sound of a plane passing by overhead. So when I got the opportunity to go on a 10-day camping trip in the Canadian wilderness, I didn't hesitate. When I say Canadian wilderness, I'm really not lying. I mean, the place we were going took us a full 3 days and 6 flights to get to. And nowadays you could pretty much get anywhere in the world within 24 hours. At the time, I had never been to a place like Norman Wells. The town consisted of like 700 people, one road and 20 buildings in the middle of the Northwestern Territories. Pretty much everything in the one grocery store was 2 years expired, and there was essentially nothing to do there for entertainment. It may sound like I'm dissing the town, but in hindsight, it just goes to show how remote we were. From there, we took a seaplane into the Mackenzie Mountains, where I'd see the outside world, reception, and showers for the last time in 10 days. Of course, I was excited at the prospect of spending time with friends and family, camping and canoeing for 10 days. But as an avid angler, I was looking forward to the elusive bull trout that lives in the cold waters of northwestern North America. Fishing started pretty slow, and for the first 7 days, all I had to show for it were a couple of small grayling and small trout. Honestly, I was starting to doubt the things I heard about this place. Each spot I fished yielded little to no results, but no matter how tired I was, I kept casting. I actually lost a few decent trout, with each one becoming more disappointing than the last. I was starting to accept that after all the traveling and after all the camping, I might leave this place without a fish of a lifetime. So you see this beautiful river here, this fast flowing river, in the pristine wilderness of Canada. This river has no fish inside. Okay? On the 7th day, we reached a spot where another river met the main river we were canoeing down. The water was crystal clear, and I knew this was the best chance I had at catching a big bull trout. With my 5,000 years of fishing experience, I was right about this place. It wasn't long until I was hooked into the first quality fish of the trip, a bull trout that tipped the scales at just over 5 pounds. Oh my god! Little did I know that was just the beginning. Just a few casts later, I was finally into the fish I was after all this time. A proper good-sized bull trout that was 9 pounds on the dot. Fish! Yes! In this moment, everything was all worth it. fishing in the freezing rain, casting for hours on end, after canoeing the whole day and more. It really is an indescribable feeling that is impossible to put into words. I guess this is why I explained the title of this video, The Beginning of Never Ending. The beginning of never ending can be interpreted in many ways, and it isn't just the slogan of our brand. For me, it describes the approach to something you're passionate about. In my story, this thing is fishing. Once you find something you're passionate about, you don't really do it for any monetary gain, fame, or any end goal in general. The beauty of our passion is in the journey itself, and there is no means to an end. There are very few things in life that have this quality, and I think that's what makes things passion. Traveling halfway across the world and being able to catch a fish 15,000 kilometers away from home on just a piece of plastic is what it's all about for me. If you aren't an angler yourself, I recognize that it may be difficult to understand the joy that fishing brings me, and what I just talked about may not make any sense to you. But on the other hand, I would probably never be able to understand the joy that your passion brings you. In other words, our passions are what makes me, me, and you, you. If you haven't found your passion yet, I urge you to keep looking, because the day you find it will be one of the best days of your life. I hope you find something of value from this video, and maybe even inspiration to find something you're passionate about. Something you can begin your journey of never ending with.